Have you ever maybe looked closely at something like a sturdy street sign, or even, say, a piece of metal furniture, and wondered how they get those tubes and bars so perfectly formed?
Yeah, how do they get shaped or expanded or even joined together with such, well, precision?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
definitely not magic. It's actually the result of some pretty advanced industrial machinery.
Hmm.
So today, we're going to pull back the curtain a bit on a specific line of equipment. It's called the AeroPress, and it's made by a company named Ercolina.
And we've got some good info here, right? Straight from their product catalog and website.
We do. It gives us a really detailed look under the hood, so to speak.
Okay.
Our mission today really is to unpack what these powerful machines actually do, why they're so vital, and maybe reveal some surprising ways they impact products you see every single day.
Think of it as a shortcut to understanding this world of hydraulic metalworking.
Precisely. Okay, so to really get into it, let's start with the basics. What exactly is swaging? That sounds a bit technical.
It does, but at its heart, it's pretty straightforward. Swaging is basically a process where you shape metal, usually a tube or pipe, by forcing it into or through a die.
Okay, a die.
Like a mold.
Exactly. And that die either reduces the diameter, makes it smaller, or expands it, makes it bigger. Think about needing to fit one tube snugly inside another, or maybe creating a flare on the end for a strong joint.
Got it. And the AeroPress machines, where do they fit in?
Right, so these AeroPress machines are horizontal hydraulic presses. They're specifically engineered for that kind of work, swaging tubes and pipes. And crucially, they're programmable.
Programmable. That sounds important.
Oh, it is. Ercolina, the company, they really stress that these machines aren't just about the raw power, but they're designed to directly, boost profit and improve the quality and the finish of the final product.
Their slogan is setting the curve. Right.
Yeah, which really points to that focus on precision, getting things exactly right.
Okay, so they're not just doing one thing, expanding, reducing. You mentioned other press operations too. That's right, they're quite versatile.
So what are the common threads then? What are those universal features across the line that make them so capable?
Well, what's really interesting is how they build in that flexibility and control. Across both the main models we'll discuss, you find these advanced programmable touchpad controls.
With backlit LCDs, I see here.
Yep. And that's not just for show. It means operators can quickly store and recall settings for different jobs. Think about how much time that saves, how it reduces errors.
Right, consistency,
Yeah.
especially for manufacturers doing repeat work.
Exactly. Huge benefit. And beyond the controls, these things are built tough. Really heavy-duty structures, rigid components. They're designed to last and give consistent results even under, tons of pressure.
Makes sense.
Users also get really fine control over the working speed and the hydraulic force itself. Plus, they have this quick-change modular tooling system.
So swapping out the dies or other tools is fast.
Supposedly, yeah, which, again, boosts efficiency. They also include a remote pendant, like a handheld controller with low-voltage controls for safety and flexibility, and programmable cylinder positioning.
Meaning you can set exactly how far the tool moves.
Precisely, for depth control. And finally, a strong hydraulic clamping system to hold the material securely. All that together gives you a really high degree of control and adaptability.
That's a really solid foundation.
Ilwa?
Okay, let's get into the specifics then, the models. We've got two main players in this AeroPress line, the EP25H2-V2 and the EP60. Let's start with the EP25H2-V2. What's its story?
Okay, the EP25H2-V2. This is already a pretty serious machine. It delivers 25 tons of hydraulic force.
25 tons. Can you put that in perspective?
Let's see. It's roughly the weight of maybe 5 adult elephants. Something like that. A lot of force.
Okay, yeah, that's substantial.
And it's adaptable power-wise, too. You can get it in either 220V or 480V three-phase, depending on the workshop setup.
And the programming.
Its touchpad lets you store up to 8 different programs. Pretty handy for recurring jobs. And it gives you that precise control over the length of an expansion or reduction, or even the exact angle of a fold, all managed through programming the cylinder stroke.
You mentioned tooling earlier. What kind does this one use?
This model primarily uses what's called punch-style swage tooling. Imagine a solid-shaped mold, the punch being pushed into the end of the tube to reshape it.
Okay. And what can it actually handle? Size-wise, material-wise?
Right, capacity. For tube, it can handle diameters up to 3.5 inches with a wall thickness of 0.120 inches.
Which is pretty common.
Yeah, 0.12. Oh, wall thickness is fairly substantial. You see it in things like vehicle roll cages or industrial handrails, maybe.
Okay. And for other press stuff, like folding.
When it's doing general metalworking press operations, like folding flat bar, it can handle steel flat bar that's 5 inches wide by ½ an inch thick.
And the stroke. How far does the tool move?
Its maximum cylinder stroke is 6 5/8 inches, and the maximum depth it can swage is 6 inches, although the notes say for depths over 4.5 inches, you might need special tooling.
And speed.
Working speed is between ½ an inch and 1 inch per second, so, controlled movement.
Okay, so the EP25 is definitely capable, powerful, precise for its class, but what if you need even more? You mentioned its bigger sibling. The EP60, this one promises 60 tons of power.
Yeah, now we're talking. The EP60 is a really significant jump. 60 tons of hydraulic force.
So like 12 elephants now.
Something like that. It runs on 480V 3-phase power, and it builds on those universal features we talked about, but adds some key upgrades.
Like what?
Well, it includes an advanced handheld remote control that's certified for Class 3 safety. That's a higher safety standard, important when you're dealing with this much force.
Good point.
And here's a big one. It offers unlimited program storage via USB.
Unlimited. Wow.
Yeah. Think about a shop doing tons of different custom jobs or very complex sequences. They can save everything. No limits. Huge advantage for high-mix or complex production.
That is a big deal. What about tooling?
It's more versatile there, too. It can use that punch-style tooling we discussed or a more advanced type called finger-style swaging tooling.
Finger style. What's that?
Instead of one solid punch, it uses multiple segments, kind of like fingers, that expand outwards or contract inwards inside the tube. It allows for more complex shaping, potentially more uniform results, especially on larger diameters or even non-round shapes.
Interesting. Any other perks?
Yep, it has an energy-saving motor feature. It automatically shuts off when the machine isn't actively cycling, saving electricity. And there's an optional side shift feature for the tooling head, which apparently helps reduce the time it takes to change tooling setups, more efficiency gains.
That energy-saving feature and the unlimited programs definitely sound geared towards higher volume or more complex operations. How do its actual capacities stack up against the EP25?
This is where the EP60 really shines, obviously. It can handle tube diameters from 3.5 inches, where the EP25 maxes out all the way up to 4.5 inches, with that same 0.12 wall signal.
Okay, bigger pipes.
Right. And notably, it's specifically mentioned as being able to swage square and rectangular tube up to 2.5 inches square.
So not just round stuff. That's useful.
Very. And for folding steel flat bar, it can handle pieces up to 7 7/8 inches wide by a chunky 3/4 of an inch thick.
That's some serious bending capacity.
It is. Its maximum cylinder stroke is also much longer, 11.5 inches. And the max swage depth is 8 inches, though, again, that depends a bit on the specific tooling being used, especially if it's fingerstyle or standard reduction tooling.
You mentioned a real-world example.
Yeah, the source material gives a great one. Swaging 2.25 inch perforated square tube. The kind used for those adjustable height mounts for street signs.
Oh, right. I know exactly what you mean. The ones with the holes.
Exactly. Being able to precisely form the ends of those tubes allows for those strong, reliable, adjustable signpost systems. It's not just about making a sign stay up. It's about infrastructure safety, durability against weather, things like that. That capacity and precision are critical there.
That really does put the power into context.
Yeah.
And achieving that precision across all these different tasks, the tooling must be absolutely key, right? You mentioned modularity. How does that work? What kinds of tools are we actually talking about?
Absolutely. The tooling is the key to its versatility. The machine provides the force and control, but the tool does the specific shaping. And yeah, the modularity is crucial.
So you swap things in and out.
Right. Ercolina offers a whole range of options, and often you need to specify the exact size you need when ordering, which highlights how tailored it can be for the basic expanding and reducing of tubes.
Yeah.
You've got expansion punches. These flare out the end of the tube. Then reduction cups, which make the ends smaller, and specialized clamp jaw sets to hold the tube securely during the process. The exact design might differ slightly between the EP25 and EP60 for certain sizes.
And the EP60 has that finger-style tooling you mentioned.
It does. Included tooling for the EP60 features things like a tube expansion tie bar, prism holders for support, and that finger-style reduction tooling, which usually includes the segmented finger clamp and a tapered reduction cone.
And the EP25, what comes with that?
The EP25H2-V2 typically includes an expansion reduction holder, an adjustable start for setting repeat lengths easily, its own tube expansion tie bar, a prism holder, straightening supports, and it can also use finger-style clamp reduction cones for certain applications.
Okay, so that covers tube ends. What about the other stuff, like the bending or other shaping?
Right, for those general metalworking press operations, there's a variety of bar fold tooling. This includes things called folding prisms.
Prisms like
Yeah.
V-blocks.
Essentially, yeah. They have V-shaped openings of different sizes. Smaller ones, say 5/8 inch up to 2 inches, and then much larger ones like 3 1/8 or 5½ inches. These allow the machine to precisely fold flat bar. The example given is up to 8 inches wide by ½ inch thick steel, bent to a perfect 90 degrees.
Impressive.
There's also a flat bar folding shaft that works with radius insert holders, and then various radius folding inserts you can get.
Ah, so you can create smooth curves instead of just sharp angles.
Exactly. Not just folds, but bends with a specific radius. So yeah, this whole wide array of tooling is what lets the machines go way beyond just simple swaging and perform really complex shaping tasks.
Okay, this is fascinating stuff technically. But let's zoom out. What does this all mean for, for you, our listener? Where do we actually see the impact of these powerful machines in the real world? What industries rely on this?
Yeah, connecting it back is important. These machines, or ones like them, are really foundational in a surprising number of industries. For that core swaging of tube and pipe we talked about, think about manufacturing sturdy office furniture frames, specialized sports equipment like goals or training gear, large banner display stands you see at events.
Even radio towers.
Yeah, even structural components for things like ground-mounted radio towers. Precision and strength are key there.
Okay, what else?
Then there are flaring and flanging applications. Flaring is creating that sort of funnel shape on a tube end for a tight seal, and flanging is forming a flat rim or lip, maybe for bolting things together.
Right. Where is that used?
Absolutely crucial in making connections for refrigeration systems, air conditioning units, hydraulic hoses where leaks are a big no-no, and just general plumbing applications.
Makes sense. Precision equals no leaks.
Pretty much. Then you have press brake applications that precision bending capability. They're used constantly to create essential bits and pieces like mounting brackets, L brackets, small tabs, used in assembling all sorts of products.
The little things that hold everything together.
Exactly. And finally, there are more custom applications. Things like tube beading, which adds a raised ridge around a tube, maybe for decoration or to help hold a hose clamp. The reliability and accuracy these air press machines offer directly translates into better quality products, less waste during production, and just overall efficiency across all these diverse fields.
It's also worth remembering, as you pointed out earlier, that these huge force numbers and capacities, they're typically based on standard mild grade materials, right?
That's a really important point, yes. If you're working with heavy wall tubing or high tensile strength materials like certain alloys, they're much tougher to deform. So naturally, that will reduce the machine's effective capacity compared to the specs listed for mild steel.
Something any professional using these would definitely need to factor in for their specific application.
Absolutely. Job-specific calculations are key.
And just for completeness, the sources mentioned both models come with a 1-year limited warranty.
Right, standard industry practice, but it shows the manufacturer stands behind the build quality.
So today we've taken a pretty deep dive into these Ercolina-era press hydraulic machines. We've seen how these powerful programmable tools are, setting the curve, as they say, in precision metalworking.
We've covered quite a bit from the 25-ton and the hefty 60-ton capabilities to their smart controls, that quick change tooling concept, and the surprisingly wide range of places they turn up. Street signs, furniture, AC units.
Yeah, sports equipment too.
What's really fascinating when you step back is how this kind of specialized industrial machinery like these hydraulic presses really forms the backbone, sometimes literally, of countless products we use or see every single day, often without a second thought.
Right. That ability to precisely expand or reduce or flare or fold metal tubes and bars with such consistency, it directly impacts the quality, the efficiency, even the design possibilities in so many industries.
It really underpins a lot of modern manufacturing. These engineering advancements enable so much.
So maybe the next time you lean back in a sturdy metal chair, or you just happen to notice a well-mounted street sign, take a second. Consider the immense force and the really intricate precision that might have gone into shaping its parts.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many other objects are around you right now? Things that seem simple on the surface, but are actually the result of equally complex industrial processes, using highly specialized machinery, each with its own kind of hidden story of powerful engineering behind it.
That's a good thought. What common items might have a hidden metalworking story?
Exactly. Something to maybe mull over until our next conversation.